everybody, welcome back. It's Joe White from Get Life Coaching. And yes, I am here, another edition of Live Free. It's been a long time since we rocked and rolled, my friends, and it's good to be back here. When I first started this video blog, there's two things that I wanted to make sure I did. Number one, be honest with you. Don't think life is always about sunshine and roses. That difficult times need to be shared. Just because you can write how great life is on your Facebook status page doesn't make your life great. I think we all know that. And two, I want to make sure that I gave you something of impact, just not a regurgitation. And to be honest with you, in the last few months here at Get Life Coaching, on one hand, it's been absolutely amazing. This is our greatest year ever, and we had explosive growth, touching more lives than ever. I did some math before I did this session with you. And since Labor Day, I have done 157 coaching sessions, individual coaching sessions. That's not counting other coaches or anything else. 157 individual coaching sessions. On top of that, 118 hours of seminar, actual seminar. We're not talking about prep work. We're not talking about follow-up. We're not talking about paying bills. We're not talking about creation. We're not talking about writing, anything else. 118 hours. And the crazy thing about that is that some of my staff were with me for almost all of that 118 hours. And really blessed here, and I thank them so much. Again, it's all about touching those lives and making more of a difference in people's lives. But yet, on the other hand, we've had growing pains, some internal challenges, some things that we thought we were on a straight line that quite veered off. And some of it was even on the personal side, or it felt personal. And I think you know as well as I do, anytime in life that you set a goal or a challenge or a quest, that you're always going to have obstacles or challenges or worthy opponents or adversity. And that's really our focus today, because you know what? Adversity gives you the illusion that, or this feeling of entitlement, that no matter what happens, it's okay to stay down. You can lick your wounds. You can feel sorry for yourself. And you get hit down, eventually you get tired of always trying to stand back up. But there's a point where you decide that standing back up is what you do, and you can never stay down. And you may roll up in the ball for a moment, but you don't stay there. Because a lot of you guys know my story. You know that I was addicted to cocaine, I was an alcoholic, saw the Tony Robbins tapes. Before that, dead on the streets of New York, 14 minutes longer, I would have not be here today. My heart stopped. But there's two little things I want to share with you that you might not know about, to be totally honest with you. Maybe I mentioned it in some of my seminars. The first thing was, when I first started in my seminars, we used to do these mini versions of our Breaking Through the Barrier. And I remember I had it was like really a 2.5 hour blitzkrieg of our longer full day seminar. We even did board breaking. So I remember I did my first, it was like the first and second one, I had 15, 20 people. I was so excited. See, back then, I didn't own my identity. My identity was helping people through external validation. If you say I did a good job, if you say I changed your life, then therefore I'm worthy. And if I couldn't change your life, I wasn't worthy. I still had a lot of growing to do. But I knew my passion, I knew that drive, I could feel it at least. So at the end of this, I'm pumped up, I'm juiced, and this guy comes up to me and he says, you know what, I'm going to give you some free coaching. I'm like, sure, go ahead. But first of all, you got to stop sharing the story about your drug and about your past. No one understands it because they haven't gone through it. And it just makes you look, like it discredits you. I'm like, okay. He goes, and then you got to change the way you talk. Because you know what? You need to Toastmaster and get more professional. You got to wear a suit and tie and cover up your tattoos. You got to be more corporate. This is how you become successful. You may make it, but not the way you're at. Thanks. And he walks out. And I know what happened now. I mean, I gave away my power, my personal power. But I definitely felt devastated because I began doubting myself. And I remember going home and thinking I wanted to quit. Maybe this wasn't for me. But there was a voice inside of me that told me to push on. Probably about 5-6 years ago, I was engaged to get married, and we decided to call off the wedding about 30 days before. And it was really difficult for both of us. And at that point, I wasn't a very smart businessman. And what I mean by that was, I figured I would just want to change the world. I was either going to be successful at that or I would go broke. So I used a lot of credit cards to pay credit cards and convenient checks. And I got so over my head But we were producing a lot of revenue at the time, so we weren't making anything. We were barely surviving and, putting off bills, but I had to keep generating that. But after the end of the engagement, I began withdrawing a little bit, and I lost that drive to go out there and keep promoting that I had to do. And if you're in business, you understand the cycle that you got to keep that pipeline filled. And once that pipeline became empty, the bills went up, and I became overextended even more without the revenue to pay my monthly bills. And if you've ever been in that situation, you go from just being that much underwater to totally submerged at the bottom of the ocean in a heartbeat. And that's what happened. I almost lost everything, my home, everything. And we found a way to turn it around. But I remember going through that thinking, you know what, I just want to get in my car and drive away. Just drive to California. I always wanted to go there. I just wanted to get away. I figured I could wait tables, do something. Maybe this wasn't for me. We've all been through our challenges, but we have to always find what's inside. See, there's a scene from Rocky V or Rocky Balboa, and I'm sure I talked about this before, but it's a scene where a son confronts his father, and his son blaming his father for everything that's not right in his life. And Sylvester's like, no, it's not that you don't value your own worth. And he tells his son that nothing in life is going to hit you harder than life itself. So it's not a matter how hard you get hit, it's how hard you can get hit. So how hard you can get hit and come back. And what gets you back is what's in here, my friends. See, we all need a driving force, a passion, a mission, a vision, a purpose, a reason why we do what we do. Now, not everyone's going to have a mission to change the world like we do at Get Life Coaching, and one's not greater. I think raising a child or a family is just, or in some ways even greater. Or being a force for good in your community or your church, or helping to raise money for a cause that you believe in. See, we all have our different callings, but we all have a calling. And we got to understand what that is and listen to it and own it and keep it in the forefront, because at difficult times, life will hit you. And without that here, you know what's going to happen? You won't get back up. Eventually you're going to say, it's not worth it. You're going to walk away. I've been there. And even though this time that we're going through right now is nowhere close to that, it still hurts. It still you get a little tired of always swimming upstream, right? Fighting back. But something keeps you going. Something makes sure that you don't want to throw that towel in. Something keeps you from staying curled up in a ball. Something gets you to come back for more. And I used to say this, that it was either, smarter than I thought I was, or I was dumber than I thought I was, and that I just didn't know when to quit. But you know what? I just realized something. That's not true. It's that passion, that strive. It started off that voice, a desire to make a difference, and it's grown into something so much more and bigger even me today at Get Life Coaching. So it's good to be back. So no matter where you're at in your life, discover your passion. Find it. Cultivate it. Play with it. Live it. Express it. Share it. It is a driving force for your life. So until next time, I hope it. Oh, that doesn't sound very positive. It will be soon. I will see you. Live free. Bye-bye.